Hey guys, what's up? Ghosty here. Recently just picked up my second butler, that being Wade the Butler right there. Um, I've had this guy over here on the right, the Edwardian, for quite a while, and I figured, why not do a quick little comparison video between the two. Um, I got Wade in a bundle with the Gemmy Dancing Pirate and uh, Magic Powers Heads Up Harry. All three of them had the box, and I paid 115 for all three, which is not bad. The only thing that doesn't work is Heads Up Harry, but I'll get to that. That'll be another video. Um, so yeah, I just kind of want to get into the differences between these two, mainly cosmetically speaking. I'll get into that in a minute. Okay, so first up, we got I'll just give a little information on these, I guess. The Butlers first came out in 2004, I believe. Both of these, well, kind of. So Wade, this is Wade. Wade the Butler came out in 2004. It's that exact model you see. The model I have is the 2004 version. Alongside him, they released the Edwardian Butler. Not the one that you see here on the right, though. The one released in 2004 had hair. So Wade was made from 2004 to 2006. The only differences in his different models being one, I'll show you right here. The original 2004 models do not have that purple button yet. It's just, there's a little knob to compress it. That's it. So he's only motion and sound activated. There's no button here. So that's difference number one. Difference number two would be that he actually doesn't have any speaking lines. He only he breathes and makes sound then, and he like mumbles and laughs, but he doesn't actually have any speaking lines. That holds true for the Edwardian as well. Both of the early versions of these didn't speak, which honestly I think is much better considering that their mouths don't move. It just makes more sense for them not to have like spoken word lines. Let's see here. Okay, so yeah. So Wade was made up until 2006 when he was discontinued. And yeah, the only difference is, like I said, the button and the lines. As for the Edwardian here on the right side, this guy, there are a lot of different ones. So, like I said, the original 2004 Edwardian has hair. He has long black hair and a hat. You can actually find the hat with hair for both of these that was sold separately alongside them. So you can see these with like the hat and the hair. Just know that they weren't made that way. It was sold separately as like an accessory. So yeah, with the Edwardian, 2004, he had hair. The version that I have is the 2006 version, the bald version, I guess. The only differences, again, being the fact that he is bald, and his vest is white rather than green on the other Edwardians. Now, they made a few other Edwardian butlers. There's a rapping Edwardian butler who looks pretty different, and his animations are completely different. I believe his body turns. I know that he doesn't have the little tray that you see. Instead, his arm moves. And I think he has a moving mouth as well, but I could be wrong about that. And that is the rapping butler. There's also a burgundy butler. There's a red vest Edwardian that has like gray hair. So they made quite a lot of these. The butlers, as far as Gemmy life sizes go, are probably the most common things because of how many there are. Now, with that being said, these two are probably these versions that I have are probably two of the more rare ones. I know that the bald one is probably the rarest Edwardian. I would think so, at least, because he was only made for a year, where I think most of the others were a couple years. Or you know what, the wrapping was only made for a year as well. But let me get up close and show some more differences between these two, and then we'll get into demoing in a second. Okay, so first and most obvious difference is the head is very different, actually. I always thought it was exactly the same, and while it is very similar, obviously, I mean, it is the same mold, there are some differences. Wade's head is much more fuller. Now, here's the thing, though. I don't know if it's actually supposed to look so different. And honestly, on camera, it doesn't even look that different. In person, you could really tell. But the reason for that being is this one over here was left out in a shed for a couple years in Phoenix. And you can't really get away with doing that in Phoenix because they won't melt. As you can see up here. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. It actually used to look much worse. His whole face was like caved in, and it somehow kind of fixed itself. But now I'm kind of wondering if, I don't know, his head like shrunk a bit or something, because this one is much larger. Okay, so that's for the heads. Then obviously their clothes are very different, very different, but they're very high quality on both. It's kind of, the trays are pretty much the same too. The only difference that I noticed was in here you have these like tiny like little whatevers, and on this one with the Edwardian the like brush strokes are bigger. That's kind of the only difference. So animation wise, these two do exactly the same thing. Their heads turn, their eyes turn, and they have the breathing function. Okay, so their heads turn, their eyes turn, exactly what I said, the breathing thing. Now the sound bites, the lines are actually different between these two. This one over here, he is the first version, the 2004 version. So he only mumbles and breathes, like I was saying earlier. There are no speaking lines. This one here does have speaking lines. So I'm going to demo these real quick, but really I'm only going to be demoing Wade here. Like I said, they do the exact same thing. So Wade works. The only thing that doesn't is his eyes don't turn. They're really locked up. So I got to get in there and mess around with that. I don't know. I wanted to film this video first. But yeah, everything else works on him. His head turns and he does the breathing mechanic. This guy, on the other hand, is in horrible shape. The breathing mechanic, I got in there before, and it's hard to explain without having it in front of me, but the like arm on it that like controls the breathing is completely rounded out, and I don't know, my only hope of fixing that, I guess, is finding a partied out one. I was going to use him, but he's in such good shape, I just can't do it. So that doesn't work. The neck turn function is burnt out on the board, so I got to send that out to get repaired, because I do not do board work. I don't know how to, and I don't want to know how to. And then his eyes do not turn either, which is great. I could go in there and fix the eyes, but I don't really see the point when neither of the other two functions work. And like I said, this thing was really melted, this head. I don't want to really get in there. I don't know what it's going to look like. I've messed around in heads before that had heat damage, and it was not fun. It's not great. But okay, let me get him plugged in real quick. I will be right back. Okay, so that breathing function doesn't look like much on camera, but it is really cool in person. Honestly, it's one of my favorite animations Gemmy's ever put to production. So that's pretty much all he does. I'll plug in the Edwardian just so you can hear the lines, but like I said, there's no animation, no movement. So give me 1 sec.
So glad you could make it. Good evening. Wonderful to see you here this evening. Thank you for joining us this evening. I hope I may be of some service.
It doesn't always want to turn on every time. Okay.
Good evening. The master's been expecting you.
Okay, I think that's it as far as his lines go. Oh, something else I forgot to mention earlier. Okay, 1 sec. Let me just unplug him. Something else I forgot to mention earlier with the Edwardian is that there is a second generation of the Edwardians, I guess you could say. Basically, the newer ones had a lot more lines than the ones you just heard. They actually had more lines than any other Gemmy life size. I'm not sure what year that starts with. I'm gonna guess maybe the 2007 onwards. I believe they made them until like 2010. And again, not this bald version, the normal ones with hair. Trying to think if I missed anything. I don't think I said where these were sold at, but the answer to that is pretty much everywhere. Walmart had them for sure. I think Kmart. The Menards, they were sold pretty much everywhere. I don't know if Spirit sold them, actually. If they did, it was only online. I don't remember ever seeing these in person. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. This one went on a little longer than what I thought it would. So, thank you if you stuck with it till the end. As always, thank you for watching. Yeah, catch you in the next one.